What's going on, good people? It's your boy Dreamy, aka I'm about to come. Anyway, listen, welcome to the very first Dreamers podcast. And today we're going to have conversations with individuals who are big in the social media, big in the meme culture, and also big in entertainment. And today I wrote something out for this special guest who is also my friend and brother. He is, ladies and gentlemen, I'm talking about the man, the myth, the legend, who's been lighting up our screens, our memes, our hearts in ways only he can. He's gone from the pews to the pillows, from preaching love and light to giving love and light in ways that have got the whole world and the whole social media talking. He's a pastor turned polyamorous powerhouse, a spiritual leader who has made waves in the adult entertainment industry, and a name that has become synonymous with some of the most viral content on the internet. From Glendale, California to Columbus, Ohio, and now setting Atlanta, Georgia on fire, he's the man who's mastered the art of blending spirituality, and sensuality. His voice has been echoing through TikTok, his videos have been immortalized in memes, and his philosophy on love, life, and light has captivated millions. He is a husband. He is a sex worker. He is on OnlyFans. He is on Just for Friends and many more platforms. He's just a more kind of a guy bringing a new meaning to the term multi-talented. He's known to this legion of followers as Love and Light TV, but we know him, I know him as my friend, as Michael Willis Hurd. He's also here to talk about his journey, about the church, to the chat rooms, from sermons to sex work, and everything in between. So without further ado, let's welcome our good friend, Love, Light, and TV to the Dreamer Studio.
Welcome, welcome, man.
God.
Wow,
I hope I did you justice.
bruh. No, what it did, it just brought you. I mean, yes, you did. You definitely did that, but it just brought back so many memories. So I was like, wow, do I? Wow.
And we're going to talk about these things because I wanted to create, you know, we've known each other for quite some time. And
Yeah,
of course we know each other from familiar backgrounds.
right.
And that's not just with sex work. That's with our spiritual walks.
Definitely.
So we have some camaraderie and some things in common that makes us wholesome as people. And I want this to bring a different light. Now, we've done something like this before, right? We've done something like that, but not on an official platform.
Right.
This is something that's going to stay up. This is something that people are officially going to see. And the goal is to kind of just shut down a lot of these rumors and a lot of these speculations of individuals who may not really just understand. And oftentimes we demonize and we criticize and judge people because we just don't understand. And so I just want to jump right into some of these questions. First of all, in the introduction I gave you, I had to do my research because I didn't talk to you prior to this. So I said, let me do my research like a true journalist. Let me find out. So you're from California, Glendale, right?
I am. I was born in Glendale, California, which is, my brother keeps telling me that we were actually born in Pasadena, but they're like side by side. So, it's one of those areas, but I think it was Glendale Memorial Hospital. But yeah, I was born in California, but I was raised in Ohio. Ohio is where my mother is originally from, but she met my father in LA, and that's kind of like how that journey and story got started.
So what made you move to Atlanta from Ohio?
Growing up, my childhood was so dysfunctional. The only pillar in my life during that time was church, right? And church consumed my life in ways that sheltered me from a lot of the dysfunction really taking root, but it was extremely dysfunctional. However, every year, my family would take a trip to Atlanta to visit my aunts who lived here. My mom has 9 sisters, and they're spread it out, around the country. And so every year we would come to Atlanta. I knew as a young guy, little boy, the moment we crossed the threshold into Metro Atlanta, I knew I was supposed to live here.
Yeah.
Ever since I was a little kid. Yeah. And I would always say, we're supposed to live in Atlanta. We're supposed to live in Atlanta. We're supposed to live in Atlanta. And eventually I was blessed to be here.
That's what's up, man. So you're in Atlanta now.
Yes.
How long you been in Atlanta so far?
Well, I've been in Atlanta since 2015. I took 1 year off to move to Houston, but when my father-in-law went into hospice, my husband Monty and we moved back immediately and to take care of him until he passed.
Speaking of Monty, how is he?
Yeah. Let me tell you something. Monty, Monty is on a journey that blows my mind because
Yeah.
I am a church boy through and through, right?
Mm,
Our husband Will is a church boy through and
right.
through,
Right.
right? So we talk a language
Yeah.
that when I tell you Monty has no idea what
Yeah.
we're talking about. And many times when we're talking about like our spiritual experiences or even our religious experiences,
Yeah.
Monty asks questions in such a pure
Right.
and humble way that it makes you question yourself why you
Wow.
think things. And so, ever since his father passed, he has really been on a journey to self heal,
Mm,
to just grow, to evolve. And this journey has not been easy, but I am
mm,
so proud of him. He is
nice.
growing. We are seeing him come out of his shell because so many people think Monty is so quiet and so laid back. And I keep telling people, Monty is Incredible Hulk.
Yeah.
Like people don't
He-
see that because they
mhm.
just see him as the pure one.
And all aspects. My first encounter with Monty, he's a gentle soul.
Yeah.
He's a gentle soul, but I know there's a lion in him too.
Ooh, baby. And you know
And
what? I
yeah,
love it.
yeah.
And I don't want to ever dim that light because he's finally getting a chance to just love himself,
Wow, that's good.
be supported by unconditional love, and have
Yeah,
a real authentic journey without the
right.
pressure of you got to be this.
Wow, that's awesome, man.
I'm
So
happy.
now we're on the topic of spiritual journey. That's what I really want to get pretty much navigate to.
Right.
So you becoming, how long were you a pastor?
Oh, wow. Okay. So I started ministry when I was 7.
Oh wow.
So I grew up in the Churches of God in Christ, and in the Churches
Mm-hmm.
of God in Christ, we have something called the Sunshine Band. The
Mm-hmm.
Sunshine Band basically was the youth choir. I started directing the youth choir at 7 years old, and how the Churches of God in Christ are is built. You have national, you have state, then you have your district, and there probably be 15, 20 churches in your district. I was over all of the
Wow.
youth choirs at seven
Yeah.
years old. I was the
Wow.
director. So I've been in ministry since I was 7. I started preaching and prophesying when I was probably like 12 or 13. And then I started pastoring when I was 19. So from 19 all the way to 40, I was in ministry
Oh
pretty much
wow.
full time. Yeah.
Oh yeah. So were you a pastor in one of those? I guess in Ohio at that time. I'm assuming.
Yes. So I
Yeah.
was blessed. Yeah, I was blessed to have a lot of great experiences pastoring.
Yeah.
I pastored all over, started churches from scratch. Just have the regular church background, when it comes to
Absolutely.
ministry. Yeah.
So what is I would say because so now obviously you're not pastoring now,
No,
and
no.
so we know you as Yes King, we know you as all these these cliched names. So, but one of the questions that was given to me by a member, they said, how do you reconcile your role as a pastor
Wow.
with your work in the adult entertainment industry? How
Right.
do you?
Wow. So, that question is so complex, right?
Mm-hmm,
But the
mm-hmm,
simple answer is just this.
yeah.
You have to know what you believe,
Mm,
but you have to know why you believe it.
there you go.
Do you believe something because somebody preached it in such a way that you just know it's God because they
Yeah.
knew how to, and God said,
Right.
let not there be,
Right.
and it because they could do it and it was great and it moved you, or do you believe something
Wow.
because you actually took weeks and months to study a thing to find out what it is that you really believe? So
Right.
for me, the number one goal I have in my life, and I'm an Aries all day.
Yeah.
I need truth. I need truth. I don't care if it hurts me. I don't care if I want to hear it, if I don't want to hear it. I need truth. And for me, once I started discovering the truth about
Yeah.
my religious experience, I was then able to transition that into a spiritual experience. And a lot of the things that I held true, I found to not be true. And it gave me the freedom to want to know more. And I will
Mm.
say this: God, the universe, spirit, source, whatever you want to say, used porn
Mm.
to save my life.
Wow, that's good.
It
So,
took something as strong as porn
mhm,
to break the religious energy that was over my life. I can't go back if I wanted to.
there
So
you
that's how I
go.
reconcile it. I have a real relationship with God. I'm honest as fuck. I tell the truth. It
Mhm.
is what it is.
So how has that spiritual background of yours influenced your advocacy for pretty much the LGBTQ plus? Like, how does that influence, or how do you advocate adding that spirituality and with that?
Right. You know, Dreamy, I remember when we first met, and I was telling you one of the things that has probably blew my mind the most. I have done more real life ministry
Mm.
while working in the adult content industry
Wow.
than I did all my years of preaching. I have been
Wow.
on many stages. I have preached all over this country. I have prophesied. I have helped people. God has used me to do great things,
Mm.
but nothing has been more impactful than the things that I have done behind the scenes while I've been working in ministry, working in this industry, which
Sure.
has turned out to be my ministry.
Right. Absolutely. So there's so many people that are born now. You're a veteran now. You've been in this thing for a while, brother. You've been in this thing for a while, and I say that humbly, and I honor that longevity and that experience. But there's so many people, who are being sex workers overnight.
Right,
They're young,
right,
and then,
right.
and some of them are actually battling, their faith and sexuality. What is
Definitely.
your message to those who are struggling between that faith and sexuality?
You are so right, Dreamy. Let me tell you something, man. When I tell you these young people reach out to me all the time.
Yeah, yeah.
Even last night, I was just talking to a young man who has a church background just like us. And he was sharing with me how he was in a place to where he was ready literally to commit suicide. And he accidentally ran across one of my videos one day and then started going down the rabbit hole.
Wow.
and, uh, and he was able to find inspiration. Man,
Wow.
there's been so many things that people have reached out to me to talk about, to express their heart. A lot of these are, especially
Yeah.
the black
Mm,
adult content
mm,
creators, a lot of these are church boys.
yeah.
A lot of these are people who have just been hurt, who have been rejected. And then there's some people like me who ain't been rejected, who ain't been hurt, and you just wanted to do it because you wanted to. Hell.
Exactly right. And you know what? And also, in the same instance, I've even shared with people, you just want to not only that, but you also, because you are so young, you
Right.
want to make sure that this is something that you want to do. Now,
Exactly.
like for me, I've been in the sex work industry for only like 4 years.
Right.
Now, there's some people who've been in longer. So I started later, in my
Right.
later 20s.
Yes,
Now,
me
there's
too.
some who are starting, 18, 19.
Right.
My message to them is simply this: you want to make sure that this is the route you go,
Yes,
because
yes.
the world we live in, as soon as you post it, it's not coming off of the
It's never
internet.
coming. It's never coming down. Never. But you know what? Let me say this: the world
Yeah.
is changing,
Yeah.
right? I am a big watcher of The View, right?
Yeah.
I watch The View. I love The View.
Sure.
I
Sure.
remember years ago when somebody came on there for OnlyFans. It was a young lady who was putting herself through school by doing OnlyFans. When I tell you those ladies tore her up, oh my God, da da da. And then fast forward 4 or 5 years, then there was a mother on there who was doing OnlyFans to take care of her family. And they were for her. They were like,
Wow.
well, we've evolved, we've changed. People really do not care about those things. The only folks who really care are people who use porn or adult content or sex work as a political ploy or something to rally people's emotions. But
Mm,
real people, let me tell you something, folks really don't care
right.
unless you are doing something that's illegal, that
Right.
is, something that's wrong. People don't care.
Yeah, they don't. And that leads to this, that if you decide to go into sex work or any type, I won't even just limit it to just that, because there's
Right.
avenues. But if whatever you decide to do, remain committed to it, remain authentic to it.
Right.
Okay, don't just play the funk and trying to get
Right.
quick rich. This is not a quick rich type thing. There's no such thing. It used to be during COVID. Everybody was making
Right.
COVID
Everybody was
money.
making money.
Everybody. But now that everything is shifted, it seems like you got to work. You got to constantly produce. It's a job.
I tell people this
yeah.
all the time. I could probably make triple the amount of money that I make.
Oh, sure.
But I limit myself because I don't like to do collaborations.
Right.
And the older I get, and I'm going to make an announcement on your show today, Dad.
Okay, cool.
The older I get, the more I understand why this is seasonal, right? And why once you start growing and developing and understanding, why there are other paths that you may want to go in life. And I think that sometimes it's so easy for people to look at folks who do OnlyFans and they see, this. And don't get me wrong, I made close to $1 million. I can't ever complain about the money. However, I think that if you go in with the attitude of, oh, I got to get this because I'm going in for this. No. The only reason why I did OnlyFans was because I was doing it in real life without a camera.
There you go.
You get what I'm saying?
There you go.
If I wasn't doing it in real life, I would have never done OnlyFans. OnlyFans was easier for me because I was already doing the freaky stuff without a camera.
Right. There you go. Right.
So you
exactly.
have to, so you're right. So you have to count the cost and know that once it's there, and you got to be willing to have the swag enough to say it's there and what.
That's right. That's right. And own it.
And
own it. We can talk a whole hour on just that alone. Our personal experiences that you've witnessed, that I've witnessed about your life.
I've watched you go through.
Brother, let me tell you something.
Every day.
We can talk about it. We can write a whole book.
Man, I remember one day I called you just to check on you, and you was like, bro, you was like, man, you was like, the police just left my house. They keep coming. People keep sending. I'm like, how do these people know where you
Thank God all that stopped, brother.
I'm so happy.
That was see, this is what I'm trying to tell you, and I don't mean to get on a spiritual rant here, but this is one of the things I try to tell people, that there are good and bad consequences to everything.
Definitely.
And at the same time, you've got to be strong in who you are to not bend and not to break under the pressure of what people created or what people have a decision about you.
Exactly.
Because some people have already decided what they think about you, what they consider you, but it's about what you consider yourself.
Exactly.
That makes all the difference. Yeah.
You have to be strong. And if you're going to be successful in anything, you're going to be a target. And you have to realize that comes along with it. But I can tell you this.
Yeah.
All of the shit that I went through in this industry was nothing in comparison for the years of shit that I went through in church. Church definitely prepared me. It gave me a strong back. It gave me.
What do you mean? What do you mean by that?
Because
unpack that.
Because my whole life I've been anointed. Oh, God has always used me. Whether it's, like I said, directing the choir or leading worship or prophesying and ministering to people and, doing whatever I felt, God was calling me to do. And when you are anointed and you are gifted, you are a target. And people don't like seeing other people elevate. People don't like seeing you blessed. People don't like seeing you go to the next level. But that background in church of knowing how to hold my peace, knowing how to not respond to people, knowing how, wait a minute, the only reason you're talking about me is because you're really beneath me. If you were beside me or above me, you wouldn't care. But you're only talking about me because you're beneath me.
Wow.
And when you can, and not as a pure human, but just in your level of consciousness, you're low. So I get it. And I understand how that can be a threat. I've been jealous of niggas before. True, I have.
Well, there you guys here, chat. Y'all hear, right? Exactly right. Exactly right. So being from being a pastor to what, did you jump right into sex work, or how did you transition? Like, how did that?
You know what? This is amazing. Okay, so I got into a relationship with a very, very famous young man.
Okay.
And I did not realize how famous he was at the time. And you ever go through a relationship where you show your ass, you
Mm-hmm.
don't do shit right, you know, you cheat, you lie, and you're doing all that. And
Yeah.
then the universe gives you your dream person. And then you get that dream person, and then that's when you get all your karma and
Yeah.
everything you done in that other relationship. It take when I tell you, spirit used that brother to drag me.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
But let me say this, as much as that may have happened, that young man, and his name was Ty Couture, he committed suicide probably about 18 months after we broke up.
Okay.
But Ty taught me so much about this business. And one day he looked at me in my face because he was like asking me if I wanted to do OnlyFans, if what, have I thought about it? And I was like, no, I ain't ever doing no OnlyFans. I'm a preacher. I plan on going back to ministry one day.
Yeah.
The devil is a lie,
Yeah.
doing all that. And then one day he hit me up. Nobody knows his story except maybe two people. He was like, I want to film with Crave. And I said, who? And he sent me this picture of Crave, and Crave was looking all good and all chocolate and big old booty and big old dick. And I'm sitting there like, oh, no. You are not no, ma'am.
You are of the devil.
Listen. So it's only for years later for Crave and Monty to do videos, and I absolutely love it. But it's so weird. And so I think I was jealous in that moment. And so I said, we'll talk about it when you get here. So when we got there, we ended up like messing around, and one day after Clear Blue, I just picked up the camera, and
that's it.
That was it. It went viral, and because
So
I
how
was
long you?
yeah.
Oh, right. So, okay. So here's the question. So, you're a pastor in your background,
right?
And here you are transitioning into pretty much a cam model.
Right. Well, listen.
So, can you explain to our audience how did you balance knowing that? Meaning, like, were you afraid that maybe somebody, because they knew me as a pastor, they knew that I was, their shepherd, and I was there when they was sick, and I was there when I had, there for their family members, because pastoring is not just preaching, it's caring for people.
Right.
So, did you ever lose people, or did people finally discovered you, and you're like, you know what? Knowing your background, how did you successfully sort of move away from the pastoring lane?
This is the truth. I'm an Aries. I didn't give a fuck.
Yeah.
I did not. Like, nothing in me.
There you go, folks.
Nothing in me gave a fuck about what anybody thought except one human.
Wow.
And that was my daughter.
Oh, wow.
And I called my daughter on the phone, and I said, I got to tell you something, baby. I said, have you ever heard of OnlyFans? And she was like, yeah, I heard of OnlyFans. And I said, well, your dad is decided I'm gonna try and see what it's like. And she was like, is that all you was about to tell me? And I was like, yeah. Wow. And I was like, well, I thought you would be upset. She said, Dad, everybody has sex videos in their phone. And I was like, what? Whoa. Wow. Wait a minute. But by this time, my daughter already had a baby. Sure. So I was like, wait a minute. So she was so supportive. She's like, Dad, your whole life you have lived for people. She was like, go have fun, do your thing. Me and my daughter are like best friends.
Oh, wow. So how do you balance?
Talk about everything.
So how do you balance being a father and your public persona?
Let me tell you something. So my daughter, I'm so excited. She has a couple new shows coming out this year. I'm so happy for her.
That's all
and she's going to tell her own story about, having me as a dad, because that's a lot to unpack. You know what I mean?
Absolutely.
She has her mother, who is just the epitome of holiness. And I don't say that in a sarcastic way. Sure. Her mother really is the epitome of holiness. If you think of an apostolic girl, her mother would fit that, because just the way she lives and the way she strives hard to be. And then you got on this hand, you got an anointed ass father who is powerful and everything, but he out here showing his ass. You know what I mean? So It's a dynamic, but she navigates it so well because she understands why.
Wow.
You get it? She understands
Yeah.
my dad needs to be himself in order to
Wow.
ever become whatever he's
Yeah.
supposed to be.
So there obviously there are people who are watching this who may have children and
Yes.
who may be in the industry that we are in,
Right.
and the question that comes up is, what lessons, like for instance, what kind of lessons do you teach your children about love, identity, and etc.
Right.
So what advice would you give to parents of how to teach your children love, acceptance, and identity?
Right. Well, one, stop lying to your children.
Wow.
You know what I mean? Like, stop lying to them, thinking, and again, we don't look at it as lying. We look at it as sheltering. We look at
Mm,
it as protecting them. We don't want them to, know anything.
right.
I don't think that that's a healthy thing. We
Right.
live in 2025. Crazy things going on in our world right
Oh
now.
man.
And the worst thing to do is to lie to your children about who you are, where you are, and your experiences. Number two is I think that people need to understand what is sacred
Mm.
and what is just sexual. Okay.
Explain
Now,
that.
there's a difference from having intimacy
Mm-hmm.
and making love than
Mm-hmm.
just having sex,
Mm-hmm.
right?
Yeah.
And so if you're raised fear sex or hate sex, and you may say, well, no one told me to fear it. No, they didn't say those words specifically, but they would talk about sex in such a demeaning way. Because I grew up thinking that God just hated everything. I was like, I don't even know why I'm living. I would used to be singing worship, and everybody would have their hands up in the air, crying and stuff. And I'd be thinking to myself, like, damn, these people are really being touched. And God, like, nigga, you hate me.
Right.
Like you get what I'm saying? So you have to know what you believe spiritually. You got to know how strong you are, but do not lie to your children because
Mm.
that's where the pain comes in when we lie.
Wow.
Now, if you don't want to say something, say, listen, I don't want to talk to you about that right now. We have other things to discuss. But if it's something that you have to talk about that and teach your children healthy sexual practices because you can
Mm.
say, I don't want them to do nothing until they get married. You're living in a fantasy. Okay. Only less than 4% of people are virgins when they actually get married. You know what
Mm-hmm.
I'm saying? In most communities. So how in the world, like, nah, like you need to tell the truth about
Mm.
what is really real and then what is sacred. So in a relationship, you know what is sacred? Honesty.
Mm.
You want to know what's sacred? Transparency. And those are
Yeah.
two different things.
Yeah.
Because honesty tells the truth of that was what you did, but transparency gives the details of what you did.
There you go.
That bill paying, that's
Mm.
sacred.
Mm-hmm.
Making sure that we're eating, that's sacred. Family vacations, time together, building memories, that's sacred. If you teach your child the only thing that's sacred in a relationship is sex, you are producing a child that will never survive a
Mm.
relationship until they go through so many and you become broken so much that they finally get it. Relationships ain't about sex at all. Relationships are about me being with a person and allowing whatever their journey is to produce the best in my life while I support
Mm.
them.
So it sounds like you were talking about. You said it's intimacy is often equated to sex. Well, intimacy is when you see into me. Into
Exactly.
me, you see.
Exactly. Exactly.
Is that what I'm hearing you say?
Exactly.
That there's a deeper level of me other than my organs.
It, Bro, let me tell you something. People don't know this. My favorite kind of sex in the world has nothing to do with penetration at all.
There you go. Mm.
My
Yeah.
favorite kind of sex has
Yeah.
nothing to do with penetration.
Mm-hmm. That's that
So,
mind. That's that. That's
bruh,
that.
bruh,
Well, up here, yeah.
bruh, you get me right here.
Yeah.
You get
Take
me in the
over.
spirit.
Yeah.
Yeah, we gonna do yeah.
So, would you say, with the topic of fatherhood, would you say that fatherhood has changed your approach now? Now, obviously, you've been a father for what, so 20-some years now?
Yeah,
I think
22. Yeah.
22 years. So, being a father, going into only sex work, I'm
Mhm.
sure that has changed your approach because now you're like the relationship with your kid is like, this is something I have to teach you because this is what's out here.
You know something? My daughter teaches me. Like,
Wow.
for real. Okay, so at 40, I'll be 47 this year. So
Damn, you look good. Ah,
want me
Lord.
keep ya.
Golly.
Hey, God.
I didn't know you were 47. God, I
I'll
swear to
be
God, you was
47.
42 when I met you.
Yes, I will be 47 this year.
Wow.
But man, my daughter teaches me so much. But you know what? When we talk about this, and we talk about this often, right? Only because it's relevant in my life, because I make money, from doing it.
Sure.
Whenever my daughter needs anything, she gets it. So it's not like,
Right.
she understands. But you know what she said to me one day, bro, and it made me cry after I got off the phone. She said, Dad, I'm so proud of you that you took time out of your life to have a whole phase. She said,
Wow.
you needed that.
There you go.
She said,
There you
you
go.
needed that experience, Dad. And I said, why? I said, why do you think I needed that experience? She said, Dad, she said, because your whole life you've been a robot.
Wow.
You've only been who people wanted you to be. You got to find out who you are. And I'm grateful for these past 6 years, 7 years now, that I've had an opportunity to just find me,
Yeah.
discover who I am more than the preacher. Because I got that down pat, put a mic in my hand, we're going to church.
Yeah.
And I'm
Yeah.
going to preach. I'm going to preach the word from a very universal spiritual principle and make you eat it in a way as if I'm coming from a Pentecostal standpoint.
I got you.
Right? I
got
can
you.
do that.
Yeah.
I didn't know me. I
Wow.
knew who I was programmed to be, but I didn't know me.
Wow.
Bruh,
Wow.
let me tell you something. When I learned who I love me, nigga. Let me
Yeah.
tell you something.
Yeah.
I'm
Yeah.
that man. Do you hear me?
Yeah.
My husbands love me because of the person that I am.
Right.
You get it? So
Yeah.
yeah, I had to find me.
And you said something really interesting there, which leads to the next thing, polyamory. Okay?
Yeah.
And that's a topic that is often misjudged
Yes.
because the lack of understanding of how that works. And I believe, me personally, I believe there are portals of love.
Right.
There are portals.
Right.
You can love your spouse, and
Right.
there can be another portal where you love another thing. And I
Right.
truly believe that. And so
Right.
I want you to talk about that a little bit more and unpack that. Can you explain to the audience what is polyamory? What is it?
Polyamory is your ability to have multiple sexual relationships with different people in a very honest and transparent way, right? Let me tell you something. I love when I get on conversations about polyamory because people be like, oh my God, I don't ever understand how you could be polyamorous. The crazy part to me is we're so dysfunctional as a people, we don't even realize most of us are polyamorous and we don't even get it. It's called cheating. And let me tell you something. I'm an Aries. You're going to hear me say that a lot. I cannot live a fucking lie. If I'm going to do something, I got to do it and be honest. And then the Holy Ghost don't never let me get away with shit. It don't matter what. I'm the only nigga I know that can do the same shit that all the other niggas can do. And I'm the only one who gets caught.
Right.
Done. I said, you know what? From this point on, people going to have to accept who I really am. Polyamory runs in my family. My grandfather on my dad's side lived in Alabama. People know of him. Before he died, he had 8 wives, had children by all of them. They were
in
all
Africa?
living
Was he in?
one
Was he in?
house. Yes, they were all living in one house.
What?
Listen, my father is 32 of 35. Yes.
Shut up, dude.
Yes, bro. Polyamory is in my blood. My father was polyamorous. He was so polyamorous and lying for years and lying to women for years. He went through so much. I watched him. He done got shot because he was cheating. He done got in fights because he was cheating. I said, I ain't living like that, not another day. My brother's polyamorous. I'm polyamorous. It's in us. That's just who we are.
Wow.
We have the ability to love and be in relationship with more than just one person.
Oh, wow. Wow. So, how do you navigate the challenges of being in a polyamorous relationship? Because what, you're married, right?
Right, to
You
Monty.
and Monty, and
Yeah.
how many other boyfriends or husbands? What do you consider
I
them? Boyfriends or
love you.
husbands?
That is a good ass question. So in my polyamorous family, there are
Okay.
only three of us. Okay,
Okay.
there is me, there is
Right.
Monty, and there is our husband Will. Okay,
Okay. Okay.
now there's only three of us. Now there were others that were there,
Okay.
right? And our paths in life just kind of led us in a different direction, and it was very difficult. It was very hard. To this day, we still love um, those young men. We're still in connection with them, but they have other things and other paths that they wanted to go for their lives. They weren't even sure if polyamory was for them. They were, trying to figure it out. And so they were blessed to have the experience with us. We were blessed to have that experience with them. And they were the younger ones. You know what I'm saying? They
Mm.
were the younger ones of the group. I'm 47. Monty's 44. Will's 44. He'll be 45 in a couple weeks. So our mindset is a little different.
Mm.
Last night, one of my little boos had a little party last night, and he's like 27, 28, and so we went to go because he was having a going away party. Man, I walked in that event last night. All those young people, everybody in their 20s, turning up, having fun, and believe me, it was great. I looked at my husband's. I said, I wouldn't want to be 20 again. I love being a zaddy. And let me tell you something. When I walked up in there, baby, let me tell you something. Carisha made zaddies in, baby. Do you hear everybody wants a zaddy, especially if you got a little bit of money? Everybody wants a zaddy. So I had to go be zaddy to my little boo thing last night.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
While my husbands were there
There
supporting
you
me.
go. So, in the public eye, do you have any challenges with that?
Well, okay, my challenges have been more behind the scenes.
Okay.
Okay, so there are no books on polyamory for the Black queer
Mm.
human. I'll say it like that because I'm
Okay.
pansexual. There are no books, there are no videos. The challenges that we have faced, because
Mm.
in our polyamorous family, it was definitely men. However, one was a trans man because
Okay.
everybody knows that King loves vagina. Hey, glory. Don't get me wrong, booty is good, but there's something. Hallelujah. There is something about vagina, God. Thank you. Woo! But guess what? Even in that, there were challenges
Yeah.
behind the scenes,
Wow.
Think,
Like what? What are some challenges? You can unpack that a little bit. Like,
yeah,
what are
and,
some challenges?
and I think they all would be comfortable with me saying this. I remember navigating, trying to figure out how things would flow sexually.
Okay.
You know what I mean? So we would all have individual sex with each other, but we would also have group sex at times. And I would notice that there was a hesitation with our trans man sometimes because it would be like, how we had to have conversation, and it was difficult. It was
Yeah.
hard.
Yeah. So you said that there's no books, there's no resources out there of how to navigate polyamory, especially
From
from a Black experience,
Yes,
from my understanding.
yes.
So how do you use your platform to advocate for that? How
Well,
do
you
you?
know what? Because my goal is to help people just live their truth.
Okay.
Now, if you really are a monogamous person, which science has shown is less than 11% of our population,
Wow. Wow.
men and women included,
Wow.
less than 11. Did you hear that?
Yeah.
Beyonce got cheated. Who? Okay,
Right.
so that's what I'm saying. So less than 11%. So this is what I try to do. I try to live my life in a way that people can see my testimony more than me speaking it.
Mm-hmm.
They see how I am with my husbands. They see how I make over them, how I do for them. Anything they need, anything they want, when I break my neck, I'm going to do whatever I need to do to make sure that they're happy. They see how I am learning how to change and grow. Because again, I'm an Aries, so I struggled with anger. And for me, my anger is very different than most people. Because when I get angry, I don't get angry because I start shit. I get angry because I have to finish shit. Do you get what I'm saying? I don't. You can ask any of my husbands. I never start shit. But if I can't solve it peacefully,
Right.
after a while, you're going to get that beast. And I've had to learn how to subdue him. And those are the kind of things that I want people to see about the real life that we have.
Yeah.
They don't see us struggling. They
Right.
like we just moved into our first dream home, and it is absolutely beautiful. And it's so big, I still don't know where everything is in this house. And people can say what they want to say, but when we was dealing with roaches, where was y'all?
There you go.
You get what I'm saying? When we were struggling, people didn't care. You get
Right.
what I'm saying? So I try to live my life in a way to help people become comfortable being who they are. I can't tell you, bro, how many times we get stopped in airports, stores, when we're out of the country, when we're in different places. People come up to us all the time and says, y'all don't know how you helped us, how y'all saved our relationship. A very famous couple in the Black gay community just told me yesterday, he just hit me up. He said, me and my husband are still together today because we watched you and Monty. And we realized we didn't have to keep lying to each other about what it is that we really want and what we
Wow.
desire. So that's my goal.
Wow. I mean, that's amazing because with that, all of that, and going through this, how long you been in polyamory in a relationship? How long?
Whew, I would say since 2000. Yeah, officially since
Oh
2000.
wow, you've been in for a while.
Yeah.
I don't know, Michael. I don't know why I thought you just got started into this.
No, no, no. Let me
But
tell
you
you
said
something.
it's been in your blood though.
There
So
you go. There you go. And then again, I was cheating in past relationships and, doing things sneak. And I realized that was the part that broke people. It wasn't even about the cheating. It was the lie.
it
It was
wasn't
the
there.
fact that I
Okay.
had to go through so much. And then I get up, I preach, and I preach with such power and such glory. You would experience God and experience the universe in a mighty way. And then you would have to balance knowing that I'm a liar.
Right.
No, no, no. I had to figure out who I was and become him and
Mhm.
live as him. Now y'all get one mic. That's it. Call me
Right.
Yes King, Living Like TV, Mike, Michael. I don't give a fuck what you call me because you're going to
Right.
get one nigga now.
That's
And that's
right.
who it is.
So, what advice would you give someone considering a polyamorous lifestyle?
You have to know that you have to know within yourself that you're ready for that.
Mm.
Right? And let me tell you, because most people, whenever we talk about polyamory, the number one thing, oh my God, I bet y'all have sex all the time. Can I be honest with you? Most of the time, we are laid up in this house watching movies and TV, eating cereal in the bed, picking our nails, just being niggas, like just having a good time.
Yeah,
It is not always about sex. Now, don't get me wrong,
it happens.
baby.
It
And there
happens.
is movie. Do you hear me?
It
But
happens.
it's not about that, man. So,
Yeah.
like, I think if people really want this, you got to know within yourself that you have the ability to do it and practice before you just make a commitment. If you say, hey, I don't know, I think I'm polyamorous, can you date multiple people at one time and be
Yeah.
honest with everybody about
Yeah.
it?
Wow.
You know,
Wow.
and that's the other part, the thing I wanted to say that you asked me. We have to teach our children that sex is not love.
Mm.
Because if that
Yeah.
was the case, there would be no baby mamas.
Wow.
If that
Wow.
was the case, if that was the case, people wouldn't be getting cheated on.
That's
Sex
true.
is not love. The desire for sex in men or more masculine energy is different than feminine energy. Feminine
Mm.
energy, they want to be sexual, lock in, become
Yeah.
emotional. We're just thinking about getting a nut, bruh.
Yeah.
You
Yeah.
get it? So I
Yeah.
think that's the part that, we have to really teach our children.
Yeah. Absolutely. And so now we understand that you're a pastor. You're
Lord, am I a pastor, Jeremy?
you were a pastor. Well, the anointing is still on your life. Okay. Listen. Saul was anointed even when the Lord left him.
So-called left and right. Yeah.
So-called left him according to the scripture,
Right.
and David would never mess with Saul because he was still anointed even when
That's
he wasn't king.
right.
So
Right.
you being who you are, you still have that anointing on your life. So yes, you do still have the pastor anointing.
True.
So from pastoring from fathering to pastoring to sex work, here we are at the stage in our life where now you have become a meme, dude.
Right. Right?
Now you have become one of the largest memes that have ever hit social media. Like you're along with myself,
Very true.
you are everywhere. So let me ask you this. How
Everywhere.
do you handle the situation when your private content got leaked?
It went everywhere. It went everywhere.
How
And
did it make you feel? Like, did you, oh my God, someone took my stuff and they took the audio out of it and they
right.
manipulated. How do you feel about that?
So I got the latest analytics for Yes King, right?
Yeah.
Yes King, just Yes King alone has been posted in some type of way over 7 billion times.
Wow. Wow.
So listen, and I'm a very spiritual person. So I was asking God, I said, Spirit, show me. I said, why is it that you would allow, and this you got to get this.
Yeah.
I said, why would you allow my voice to become famous before you allow me as a person? Because to me, if it was me as a person, I would be able to capitalize more on that action, right?
Mm-hmm.
Because people can use my audio to make their TikToks like they do with food all the time. You know what I'm
Mm-hmm.
saying? Food porn. I'm the number one audio used in food
Full
porn
point.
right now.
You are.
And
You are.
so I'm thinking like, why, what? And the Spirit spoke to me because I never want you to think that it is about you, but it's about the anointing that's on you. See, people think that they like Yes King because the way I sound sexually. But what people don't know is that the same part of your brain that you're sexual with is the same part of your brain that you're spiritual with. There are many people who's very verbal during their sexual experiences. But why did y'all pick me? Because there's an anointing, there's a gift, there's
Mm-hmm.
something in that yokes people, that
Mm-hmm.
causes them to be like, whoa, what is that?
Mm-hmm.
You get it? So I think that has played a big role as to why that has happened.
So have since all this happened, has anything negative come out of that?
Every day.
So how did those incidents change how you do your content now, or has it, or how do you engage? Do you engage with your
No,
audience?
no, no.
Okay,
I don't
okay,
engage with nothing negative because
okay.
at the end of the day, again, porn is a business that has nothing to do with its actual product.
That's say that again, man. Say that
Porn
again.
is a business that has nothing to do with its actual product. One of the biggest content creators, his name is Santana.
Mm-hmm.
You to look at him on the street, you would think he porn. Most people would say, "Oh, he's overweight. He doesn't have the look. He doesn't have this." And this boy is bringing in 150, 200,000, 300,000 a month.
Yeah,
You want to
yeah.
know why? Because it's not about the product.
Mm.
And when you understand that if you get the business, that's what it is. So church prepared me for all of that. Why am I going to sit around? Now, if it's something that is detrimental that I have to address, then I will. I'll put a video
Right.
up, say X, Y, and Z, da, da, da. But just normal chatter, da, da.
Because to cut you off, there was a moment when people thought you were a sexual predator.
Oh my gosh, yes. Let me tell you, someone made up this flyer that showed me being arrested here in Atlanta in 2012 for some type of molestation or rape or something. I couldn't believe that I had to address.
Mm-hmm.
I was not even living in Georgia during that time. I was in Ohio. And the
Oh wow.
crazy part is I was pastoring during that time.
Oh.
So when they were saying this happened, I couldn't believe I had no choice but address it. But I'll tell you then, every person that saw that interview, attorneys, district attorneys, judges were reaching out to me and saying, listen, whatever you need, whoever you need to sue, whoever you need, like people supported me in that. And
Wow.
I am extremely grateful.
That's amazing, man. That is so amazing. So you become this meme star. People have known you. People are now. I think it may have started back in 2021 or 2022,
Yeah, during the
during the pandemic.
pandemic.
And now that you are a meme star, And you said you said something really interesting. You said you're the number one food porn audio. Is that
I
right? Did I hear
am.
that? All right. So how do you feel knowing your voice is out there saying yes, King, when people are just trying to eat breakfast?
Man, listen, it's so funny because my inbox, my DMs are always filled with, people tagging me in the video or someone letting me know that someone used the video.
Yeah.
So I've gotten very used to it now. My daughter, now this is funny. My daughter never knew of Yes King. My daughter only knew of Love and Light TV. So
Okay.
all her friends, listen to this, all of her friends were saying, oh my God, Yes King, Yes King. And my daughter kept saying, who in the hell is Yes King? Who is this? So one of her friends sent her the audio. She said, as soon as she heard it, she was like, oh my God, oh my God. So she said, Dad, why did you tell me your name was Yes King? I said, girl, I didn't even know it was out like that. So what can I do? It's everywhere, man. It's everywhere. But God, the universe has a purpose for it. There's definitely something bigger coming behind all of
Did
this.
you ever think you'd become a meme like this?
No,
You
no.
wasn't prepared for that.
I never knew God would use a platform like this to cause my voice to become stuck in
And
people.
we're not talking about just Yes King. We're talking about Alliance Pizza Chicken.
Oh,
Oh,
yes.
brother, let me tell you something. You are everywhere.
Let me
I
tell
thought
you,
I was everywhere. Nah, bro. You got me
bro.
beat.
No, you're everywhere because believe me, I have seen hundreds of thousands of fan pages, of you.
I know.
But let me tell you, I am a preacher, right? So
Right.
I know how to say things at the right moment that will stick. That's the art of preaching.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? You
Yeah.
got to say the right thing that, you know, and I just know in certain areas, okay, this is dope. Okay, people gonna love this, And then I
Yeah.
know, I know what people like. People like for you to be aggressive and take charge, and
Yeah.
I
So
do
if
that.
you had a chance to choose a meme to disappear, which one would it be?
Oh, that to never come back?
Yeah, to never come back.
Oh no, none of them. I need
None of
all
them.
of them out there. Yes, I need them out there. There is
Has
something.
has these memes influenced or helped you with your OnlyFans and things like that? Has that really helped, or is it a different type of hype?
I will say this. Last night when I was out, there was a big celebrity that was there, like big celebrity. They knew who I was because of Yes King.
Okay.
Yeah, and they came up to me like I am such a big fan, and I'm like,
Wow.
and it was like you got me through so many nights and things like that. So yeah, but
Uh,
like I said, there's a bigger purpose for it.
There's always absolutely. So have you ever told someone no, King?
Many times, many times, because my friend,
Yes, King.
Dreamy.
No, King.
Listen, let me tell you, I have, and I'm gonna tell you why. Because I take stick now, right?
Right. Oh yeah, we get into that. Don't worry.
Yeah, so my friend Dreamy, I used to ask him, I'd be like, yo, so how do you do X, Y, and Z? And you was like, you gotta do this, you gotta do it. And I start walking through it slowly, and now,
Yeah.
I'm taking on the giants. What you talking about? The book?
Let me ask you this: why do people associate you with me or me with you? Like it's an automatic. Before you even answer that, do you know Brandon Curtin?
Yes,
You
the
know
barber.
him?
The barber, yes. He actually he doesn't live too far from me.
Okay, so you met him?
Yeah, we just talked last week.
What? Okay, so all these people were asking me, I should talk to him.
You should.
But there are videos of myself, Love and Light TV, and then there's Brandon, the barber.
Yes, right.
And I'm trying to figure out what is the correlation between all three of us. Do you know?
You know what? Let me tell you. As I look, right, me and you, we have the anointing, and we're very verbal, right? Like
Absolutely.
we talk mad shit. People love that.
They do.
So I think with him, it's because he's doing something different. He's naked. He's fulfilling a fantasy. Me and you fulfill a fantasy.
That's true.
Sex has nothing to do with sex. It's about visual, mental, emotional. And when you can verbally catch somebody like that and draw them in, man, I have people wet just by my voice. I am that nigga. Do you hear me? I am that
Abs-
one. You come around me, you will get wet. Don't play with me. Fuck.
so what would you say the most bizarre thing someone has said to you recognizing you from your memes? What would be the most bizarre?
Being in the Philadelphia airport and a girl screaming, a straight girl screaming, "Oh my God, that is Loving Like TV. Oh my God, oh my God." I'm like, "You know me?" She was
Yeah.
like, "Yeah." She's like, "Well, she told me she'd be handling her business. She liked the way I fuck. Of course she do."
So has your memes made you more or less approachable to strangers?
Well, again, I'm raised in church. I
I
don't
know.
know. I don't know how to not
Right.
receive someone. Even if I'm not in a mood, I mean, I'll be at the airport, people come up to me, ask me for pictures, and things like that. I never ever get tired of that. But I'm already trained and programmed.
Wow.
You get what I'm saying? So I don't know
Yeah.
how I would be if I wasn't, because it was already put in me,
Right.
Yeah.
So would you ever move away from this career? Do you think God is keeping you on this path for a lifetime, or do you think this is just a season that
Yeah,
he may take you somewhere else?
definitely. So that is the announcement that I am making
Sure. Go ahead.
on your show today. This will be my last year doing content like this, only because
Hallelujah. That little shit. Because guess what? This is my last year.
yeah, this is my last year. And the reason why is because all of it's going to be there forever,
It is.
right? And like now, as I get ready to move into 50, let me tell you something. When I turn 50,
That's a
like,
sexy year.
bro,
That's a sexy year, Doc.
baby, like my body, my mind, my spirit, and like, you know what? Let me tell you what I love. I love fucking my niggas. Do you hear me? When I tell you, it is just, it is something I don't know. And again, this is me. Okay, ain't nobody else got to do this. Ain't nobody else got to walk this journey. If you still in your whole era, baby, hold it out. Be safe
Right.
and do your shit. But for me now, Big Daddy like laying in the bed, chilling. His dudes
Yeah.
come up beside him. What's up, King? How you do?
Yeah.
Let me tell you something, my dude, bruh.
Yeah.
That come is a little different.
Yeah.
It's sweeter.
So you're telling chat, y'all hear that? All right, so
Yeah.
chat, it's official.
And
Y'all
it's
heard it
official.
from Love Light
Yes,
MTV.
Yes.
Yes, King just said that he's
Yes.
retiring this year.
This year, at the end of this year, I'm actually going to have a retirement party. Definitely going to invite you. And
Absolutely.
it's a retirement party because I want to celebrate the greatness this journey has brought me.
Wow.
This journey has brought me more money than what I ever thought I would have in my life. This journey has brought me a freedom that I thought I would never know. My first book, I have 4 books, but my first book, I was going to put something else out. But I want people to understand how porn was one of the greatest blessings of my life. I would not be the person I am today or as evolved if I did not have that experience. So I am grateful.
Okay, so as we close out through the show, last few questions I want to ask you. What do you want your legacy to be? We know memes, they get turned over. We know content that gets turned over in social media via algorithms. But for Michael Hurd, what do you want as you transition out of this? What do you want? Do you want your message and your legacy to be for those people? Because truth be told, you groundbreaking, bro. Like you've done things and bold about it that a lot of people are scared to do. They're scared to step out, as we call faith,
Right.
and do the impossible and see how that impossible becomes so big.
Right.
And so you're I consider you as a trendsetter in a lot of ways because you've given a voice, a platform for a lot of people who are stuck in their minds.
Right.
So what do you want I'm not talking about Love Line TV. I'm not talking about Yes King. I'm talking about Michael Hurd. What do you want your legacy to be in the earth?
That I was an honest ass man.
Yeah.
That I told the truth.
Yeah.
People don't got to remember nothing else about me. I want, at the end of the day, people to know, you know what? That man told the truth. And what he said, he meant. Because when I realized what this is all about, my whole purpose of being on this earth is to grow, is to evolve, is to prepare for what is after, for the next life after this. Yeah. And even though I am no longer a Christian, I am still very spiritual and I'm a believer. And I know
Can
that,
you unpack that for someone who may be confused with that?
yeah,
You said something cool. I am no longer a Christian, but I'm spiritual.
right.
Some people will find that contradictory, but it's
They
not.
do. They do because they don't understand the true. They don't understand the meaning of the word Christian. And
Mm,
and the problem is, if you ask them what is Jesus' name, they'd be like Jesus Christ. But people don't understand that Christ is not a name. Christ is a consciousness. So
wow.
when you say that you are a Christian, then that means you have taken the consciousness and you what you feel it is, and you have boxed it into your belief system. And when you do that, what you then do is you put in your dysfunctions, your issues, your problems. Part of the reason why the Bible is the way that it actually is. The Bible is full of truth and great principles, but it's also sprinkled with dysfunction, people's opinions, people's attitudes, people's outlooks. And you have to literally understand sociology. You have to
Mm,
understand economics. You have to understand history. You have to understand so much just to be able to fully understand the Bible. And so once I got onto my spiritual journey, I just realized, like, hey, guess what? I'm going to do what is right for me, follow my path, and hopefully be a light, man. That's my thing. I want to be a light to
mm.
somebody else.
What's next? What's
Man,
next?
well, I will tell you this. So the remaining of my videos that you guys will see will probably be like my Zaddy Batty videos where I
Mm,
film with with my husband, which I definitely enjoy that. And then I'm going to tell a few little stories about from when I was a pastor. And I
mm.
did my first one with Fat Rabbit, and it was the preacher and the drummer.
I
And
saw that. I saw that.
yes,
Y'all need to
and
check that out.
he, yes, he was the drummer. Boom, and yes.
I love it. Yeah.
And you know what's
Okay.
crazy?
So you're doing movies.
I did. I did my first real legit movie.
Okay.
Sure did.
Okay.
I'm grateful
Okay.
for that. That was cool. And you know what? You should interview Fat Rabbit because
You
you would
think so?
find you would find how
Really?
us church boys are something.
I've talked to him before, and I'm just like, I don't know, you know me. If you
Bruh,
know me, anything about
bruh,
me, I am reserved, and I
bruh.
am not the type of person who will go out of my way to, have
No,
conversation with. And I consider him a big guy, like a big celebrity, a big guy and a big celebrity. So,
let me tell you, we have had we have had the best conversations about you. The
oh wow.
best conversation. Yeah,
Well,
definitely.
well, definitely, I will do my due diligence, and I
Yeah,
may
and
have him on the next show. I may have him on the next show.
I'm
That'd be
telling you,
really, really cool. Next time I do this, I want you coming into the studio when we have all the equipment,
hey
and
man,
then we'll do a whole thing official. But man, listen, I want to get into some of these questions that some of your fans
oh, go
want to
ahead.
ask you.
Here we go.
Okay, someone asked, "Who made that mess?"
I made that mess.
There
It
you
was
go.
me. So real quick, I was at a sex party the other night because I like to go with my husband sometime and just be horse.
Yeah.
And I was smashing this dude so much, bro. When I tell you there was a whole puddle,
What?
puddle. When he got up, puddle. Niggas was licking up the puddle.
Oh shit!
Yo, it was a puddle, bro. It was a puddle.
All right, let's see. Let's see. Someone asked, let me find the question. Will the king ever be dethroned?
Never, because one of the reasons why I'm leaving this year is because I'm leaving while I'm in the top 1%.
There you go. Wow.
So
That's
I
good.
can't be dethroned. I'm in the top 1%, and I want to go out in the top 1%, and that's it. Yeah.
Let's see here. Some of these questions are not
I
even
know.
questions. Some of these guys are not even giving me the right questions. But there's a few here that I saw that were really, really good. Some people's expectations of this was they were getting like these crazy reactions, but I was like, this is a serious podcast. I want people to see the person behind the meme, to
Definitely.
really see the person. I think it's Krista 561. Ask King, how do you feel about it? Okay.
Depends on what it is. What is
Okay.
if they talking about them big ass dicks I've been taking? Amazing, amazing. And I would say this: Dreamy was 100% right. There is bottoming or being penetrated has nothing to do with your sexuality. It has everything to
Self
do
pleasure
with
does
the
not
pleasure
make
that.
you gay.
Let me help y'all.
It doesn't.
All y'all tops out there talking about, oh, I would never do this. All y'all niggas, oh, I would never. You're missing the whole point of sex.
You better
Sex is
learn your
for
anatomy.
pleasure, and baby, there is a pleasure that you will never know until you, baby. And I used to be against it. I used to say it ain't for me, but then God said, I'm gonna show you a better way.
And look, man, this is what I've been trying to tell people. Like, this came from, and I will say this, and I'm gonna talk my shit.
Hell yeah.
I've started a precedence of Transcend where you can do this and not get caught up in a lot of relations. And I have individuals who are like, oh my gosh, I had no idea. It's taboo. Number one, if you're black and you stick something up your ass, you're automatically with some religious title. And it's interesting that black people are so ignorant with the anatomy. They don't know that we have something that, other than obviously our penis pleasure, there's anal pleasure there too. And you can, like I said, you can be gay, straight, bi, poly, trans. You can do any of that and still enjoy that self.
And let me tell you why you're saying what you're saying is true. So I do not like to bottom. I don't. I only like to bottom out of compersion. That means I want inside of me, I have to want to bring you pleasure in order for me to want to bottom. But baby, let me tell you something. It has made me such a better top. Because I get it. I know what it's like. And
you last a long time too. Let me tell you something, brother.
Bro.
I'm trying to you last a long time. There's something about once you've been penetrated, somehow you can just go.
Bro, as soon as this interview is over, I'm going to eat. Seriously, I'm going to eat. Because later on tonight, when I tell you I'm about to get flooded the fuck out tonight, yes, I am.
Congratulations, brother. Congratulations.
I sure am. With my niggas. We all three gonna be up on this bed. Booties up. Let's get it.
Abigail makes me nut, wants to know, does it jiggle? She has to know.
No, my booty is not. It will in a little bit, but my husband, Monty, he jiggles.
Monty's a thick guy. He's a thick brother. I miss him. I miss him. I enjoy talking to him.
He jiggles. And you know what? I want to say this. There's two things, only because it just came to my spirit. One of the reasons why people can no longer use sex work against someone in their future is because of people like T.S. Madison. People who started out in sex work, and she used it as a platform to propel her to where she is now. She broke down doors. This is why I don't feel anybody in the queer community needs to say shit about this girl when she's breaking barriers for the rest of us.
I have a
She's
desire.
A spiritual mother.
I have a desire to be on her show because when I discovered her a few years ago, and she went viral. People were making some derogatory about her until I watched one of her podcasts that she has weekly. And I sat on there for the whole 5-6 hours just listening to her. And when I tell you, I was in tears of not only the things that she was saying that were hilarious because she's a comedian in her own right, but she knows God.
She's a preacher. I say this
She knows Jesus.
She is our church. I tell people all the time, in the black queer community, T.S. Madison is our church mother. We don't understand. But God uses this girl, and she's so powerful. And she has broken down doors. Like, she's in major shows, major movies. And who gonna use her OnlyFans against her?
I think she was
Nobody.
What's the last movie she was in that she just made?
Beauty in Black. Beauty in
Black. You guys go check that out. I think that's on Netflix, right? Beauty in Black.
And then there's two other people I want to point out. I want to also say, in this journey, a big part of my change came from my time that I was at the Vision Cathedral of Atlanta with Bishop O.C. Allen and First Gentleman Rashad Burgess. Let me tell you, that church.
Oh, yes.
It was that church, the Vision Church, the Vision Cathedral. That is what gave me That's what first gave me
Yeah.
the peace to be able to step out. Because I had no support, no family, nothing. They gave me the first place where I could go and be myself and love God and worship God and be a church boy. Even though I was still going to transition later out of church completely, I needed that because I needed to understand and see that I could still be anointed, be who I am, and God wasn't going to kill me.
Wow, God ain't
Bishop
mad at
O.C.
you.
Allen and First Gentleman Rashad Burgess saved my life and thousands of others just like me.
And a lot of people don't know this. He's been dragged
Oh, God.
recently through social media, but nobody don't understand. He's been doing this for years.
Years. Yeah,
20-some years he's been doing this.
He's a pro.
You see what I'm saying? Like he's a seasoned bishop. He's a seasoned pastor. He's been doing this.
Yeah, Bishop O.C. Allen will always
he's been
be
doing
one of
this.
the greatest staples within the Black queer spiritual community.
I agree with you.
He is our bishop. Now, I know people don't want to say that, but the truth of the matter is if you grew up Pentecostal, if you grew up loving God, being a church kid, and you start to operate in your level of truth, that is a place that you can go, learn, grow, and you will be celebrated, protected, and given opportunity to continue your walk with God as you discover who you are. So
And you know what? We cannot say that's a bad thing because guess what? If you have Kojic, Bishop Sheard is your leader.
That's my whole entire point. Now let me say this about Bishop Sheard. Bishop Sheard, he may not condone homosexuality.
Sure.
But when I tell you, Bishop Sheard, First Lady Sheard, every time I've ever gone to their church, Greater Emmanuel, I've always been treated with love. I've always been embraced. Kiera has always been kind. First Evangelist Dorinda has always been amazing. Oh, hey, baby, how you doing? Good to see you. These people know what I be doing, but guess what? They have never treated me different, and I will say that about Bishop Sheard and First Lady Sheard.
Absolutely. Say that, and I say this: go where you're celebrated. People who are listening, go where you are. I've said this so many times on this podcast, whether you watch me gaming, whether you watch me on other platforms, go where you are celebrated and never be in a room where people despise you, don't like you. Right. And so this is the message to every single person: to find your identity, find who you are, but also find the people who are like-minded, who can propel you forward and a better you, not someone who can pull you back to the realms of depression and the realms of anxiety. And no, you want someone to push you to the realms of being better, a better you, and to be a better becoming.
And you know what, Dreamy, I want to prophesy this to you because God keeps speaking this to my heart.
Yes, sir.
I don't care how difficult it becomes doing it on this platform. Don't stop. Don't stop. This is your lane.
Yes, sir.
Do not stop.
Yeah.
You're going to see great success in this lane. Wow. Don't stop. People want to know the lives of others that they look to, that they listen to. God is going to really use you in this lane, bro. Don't stop. This is your shit right here. Oh, wow. This is your shit. Yeah, you're going to be successful with this.
I receive it. And I'm going to end on that note. You guys, listen, you guys heard it best. It is the incomparable, the remarkable, the phenom, the yes king of all kings on the earth, not God, on this earth.
On the earth, exactly.
On the earth. And it's him himself, Love and Life TV, also known as Michael Hurd. Can we all give a clap for him for his participation, man. We love you so much.
I love you
and
too.
Listen, we've got some things coming up in the future that we're going to talk about, maybe off air or whatever. But whenever you are in town, I'm going to invite you in town again.
Can't wait.
And I want to invite Minty too.
Yeah.
You know what? We'll invite everybody. Bring the whole family. We'll make this a whole family affair.
Oh, they would love that.
They would absolutely love it.
Y'all gonna love Will. Will is a direct cross between me and Monty.
Is that right?
Yes, he is. He really is.
That's amazing how polyamory, you have, like I said, there's portals to you. Yeah. How you can, I can explain. It reminds me of like Spider-Man, Venom, like the symbiote. Yes. There's an identity that attaches and you become, I just love it. I celebrate you, man. I love you so much with the love of Christ, but also with the love of my heart. I
Yeah.
wish you nothing but great success. And
Thank
let me
you.
prophesy to you that this will be the best year that you ever have experienced in your life. You thought you've never had to want for anything. Well, guess what? Your plate is about to run over. Your cup is getting ready to run over. And there is a plethora. Thank you, Jesus. There's a plethora of people. There's a remnant. That's the word, remnant. Those people who are left aside, the people who are thrown away, who not have been incorporated in the original tapestry. Well, those remnants, guess what, man? You're taking those remnants and making a beautiful tapestry that has never been seen before. So I celebrate you. I honor you. And guys, let's give it up for our Love Life in TV and Michael Hurd. God bless you, man. We will see you soon, okay?
Definitely.
Yes, sir. All right, guys, you heard it best. All right, tune into next time. Okay, I don't know who our special guest is going to be. We're going to find who they are, okay? And this is what this is all about. This is all about connecting. This is all about sharing. This is all about finding out who these people are, because oftentimes as people, we have a fixed mindset or fixed judgment about certain ones, and we never heard their story. We never heard where they came from, or what may have happened in life that may have driven them to a certain direction. And I wanted to provide this platform for it to happen. So you guys, thank you so much. You guys stay busting, stay golden, but most importantly, stay dreamy. All right, y'all take care. Dreamy out.